I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Welcome, Manj, to this Divine Design podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ann-Peggy. What a time we are in.
Yeah, we actually only have met once before, and we planned to take this podcast, but something has happened during the way, so it is crazy energy for a lot of us. So maybe we just go with the flow.
Yes, yes. I'm 100% with you on that. Yes, the crazy energy.
Yeah, and you see that you see your life as being initiated, you kind of to the next level.
Yes, yes. Quite literally. The last 24 hours have been really intense. And I know and I know we're receiving right now. There's someone who I tune into, and she said we are at a level collectively and individually where we can take on more light, more information, more codes, and all of that. So when I heard that message, I was just like, oh my God, I feel like I've just integrated, the last codes, which feel like 30 seconds prior to that, and actually, that's not true. It's like for me, it's kind of up and down in that I'll go through extreme bliss states. Like when we had our first conversation, I would say it was a tornado of bliss. It was absolutely wonderful, and I was on the moon, really. Like it was so exciting. And then after that, it's just been. We had the solar wind, the radiation that we were getting from the sun over the weekend, upwards of 800 kilometers per second. Like it was, and it just asked me to stop, like just be slow and be still. But now there's more, and I felt like the weekend was quite stilling, if I may, and I went out and did stuff. I functioned, but I tell you, just being out was, I saw myself like people were around me and I was just walking through, like, so it was really already intense, and then it just kicked up about 9 notches yesterday, and I slept, like I slept a lot of yesterday through, and that's my way. Like I'm so super sensitive. So looking at what's happening with the sun, there's no major flare. There's no the KP index isn't off the charts. It's nothing like that. It's just this influx of energy that's coming through and asking for us to just stop and integrate and rest and let go. Just let go of that. I mean, getting onto this call today took us, 20 minutes. And I'm, getting my computer ready in advance. And it's just everything's saying, just relax and let go. You have no control over this, and it will happen when it's supposed to happen. But just stop trying. So that's the energy of today. And I know on the other side of this is the extreme bliss state. Like it's the over the moon again. So it's just this absolute trust. Like for me, what it really is, and Peggy, is letting go and watching myself go through ego death after ego death after ego death. And this morning even I'm not even at my house. I'm at my sister's house, because I was like, I just need to, I don't know. I just don't know what I need. Quiet, drawing, listening to sound baths. And this morning I woke up and nearly canceled. It was that kind of energy. And I thought to myself, you can't, that's not an option. You have to show up to this, because this is how if I don't show up, then the day kind of stays, bleh, and eventually I'll get myself to good. But if I can show up, then it changes my trajectory, changes my timeline, and it integrates. It brings the energy in with greater ease. And that's exactly what I feel right now. Sitting here across from you and with your beautifulness, just thank you. What can I say but thank you? It's an honor to be here with you right now, having this conversation, despite the chaos that I felt a very short time ago.
Yeah, and it feels
So
when you talk, it sounds like what we call dark night of the soul, because everything is kind of disturbed, and dark night of the soul is an initiation, and it can be very hard. And I was in the dark night of the soul for 6 years, and it's like, wow. And it was hard. So I said to people that I was bipolar, because it feels like you are bipolar being in the dark night of the soul, because you're up down everywhere.
yeah,
And it's exhausted, but when we have come through, it's worth it. It's worth it.
I agree. And it feels like every time you've done the integration and you've come through, it's over, it's done, and it's not done. But that's okay. It's okay. And it's just, what I say to myself and what I say to people all the time is, it's not happening. It's not happening to us. It's happening for us, by us. We're orchestrating this, and it's just this. Just continue to try to remember. I mean, it's I think that's the most important thing. It's not happening to us. We agreed for this. We came for this. We put our hands up and said, yeah, I'm going. And with so many other souls trying to get down here at this time, at this incredible shift that we've never done before, right? So it's like, here we are in these in these body temples. Some might not call them that, and it's time to just master. It's time to master this. And really connect everything. That's why we're in the 3D, right? We chose this to be here, and it's so easy to be in our heads. It's so easy to be in the crown chakra, and all of that. But we've got to ground. We've got to be here because we chose this on this dimension at this time. So I could cry easily, and I probably will. But that's what this time is about. Let it go. I was so proud of my husband the other day when he said to me, I'm angry right now. And I'm like, great, fantastic, and we don't judge each other, but we rarely say, voice that I am this or feeling that. And, we just give each other a lot of space. And if he's not, he's not himself right now. But so it's overwhelming. It's so many things. It's so many things to shift. Right. It's and I love to say to people, it's like being in a house that's completely being gutted and restructured, refurbished, everything's being taken out, the toilets, everything is being taken out. And you can just imagine how noisy, how horrible, how dusty. I mean, we wouldn't be in that house if that was happening. The space around me right now, my darling sister's house, if it was being reconstructed, we wouldn't be having a conversation. We would be out somewhere. I would be out somewhere. But that's what's happening. Our bodies are going through this in complete restructuring process from carbon to crystal, and we're functioning. Some people call themselves like functioning alcoholics. I don't know what the word is here. We're like functioning humans while we're going through this upgrade. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. And that's why, like, I feel like this conversation is so important to let people know that you're okay. You're okay. I'm okay. We made it. I made it here, and I don't know what the rest of my day looks like. I don't care. And that's the whole point. Is just keep arriving to now, and just let go, let go, let go. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it helps to have someone, if you understand, because you understand what you are in. When I went through it, I understand some, but I didn't understand the complexity of it. If I knew that what I was in was the dark night of the soul, then it's easier to carry, kind of. It's like, okay, because when you are in something and maybe, oh, maybe because someone think, oh, maybe I have a cancer, maybe I have diseases, because it feels like everything comes up and the body really can give us a lot of pain. And so, yeah, the thoughts you share are very supportive, because when we know what's happening, and this started to happen to me in 2013, and I was finished in the end of 2018. And then it was like, so I have breathed after that. But of course, life happens. So even though you have transformed and gone through it, and I listened to a lady that said, well, when we go through the dark night of the soul, everything, every aspect of us that don't give self-love. So when we love ourselves completely, fully, with all our error and all our failure, or whatever we call it, then we have gone through the dark night of the soul. So it is, and additional to that, I can only speak for myself. I have said yes to be the new human. And the new human also is, we are going against it anyhow. I haven't gone so deep into it, but I said yes to be the new human after my dark night of the soul. So I have gone through new initiation just doing that. But that was a conscious choice.
Yes.
The dark night of the soul, I didn't feel it as a conscious, I just was thrown into it, even though I wanted it on another level. It was like, ooh, what's happening? I said yes, and then I started the initiation. So I said yes first with my conscience, my free will. And then for me, it is much easier when you say yes and then go into it, instead of just be thrown into it and don't understand anything of it.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I would agree with that. I would agree. And you said something interesting there, about like, I have an analogy, of like, you want to go through it when you're conscious of it. You want to go through it, right? But it's like, it doesn't make it easy, right? It's like, someone who wants to lose weight and is watching the video but sitting there eating an ice cream. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to, but and it's really harnessing all of it, just bringing together all parts of us, right? If you don't just mind, or if you mind, just I'm going to lose my power. So I've got to just do something. Pardon me. Okay, that should be just fine. Done. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully no beeping and stuff like that. And we just carry on. Thank you. That was another thing we were saying, is like getting onto this call. It took a good amount of time because of technological stuff. Also dealing with the energy, right?
Yeah, so what you are going through is affecting the energy, because yes, I normally when I have a time, I give 5 to 7 minutes, and then if they aren't showing up, as I said to you, I just go into my next project. But you said, I will be there in a minute, just give me time. And I understand that the energy has been hard, so it's like, yeah, I will give the space. Because we need to help each other. I know how difficult it has been to go through this. Yes. And I started in 2013, and I was finished before the COVID, because COVID actually started it for a lot of people.
Yes.
And some of us had to do it before, so we can kind of help, because now the collective are kind of in it.
Yes, agreed. And that's why I think so you're like, one of the waves, because there's so many waves of people.
So many waves.
And we're just, and I feel like it's turning into a tsunami, where we're all just, and there's this, for me, a sense of urgency. So that's why when I saw your podcast for the first time, it was just like, send her a message now. Like, she is love. She resonates, and it was just, and that's what I find, resonance. Yeah. People who resonate. It's such oftentimes I get people coming to me saying, I have no one like you to speak with, but here I meet people all the time who, I met someone last week for the first time, second time, but first time was just hello, 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 whatever. And then we got together and it was like two young girls seeing each other after lifetimes, and it was so exciting and so fun and so much love. Like that was part of being over the moon. So the magnetism is so strong, and it's constantly getting ourselves back into a state of ease and grace and easy on ourselves. And I know this is that's probably the biggest kicker for me is I realize now how I'm not driven, that's not the word, but how I carry so much guilt and this feeling badness for people. Did you go through that too? Yeah, I'm sure you did in your dark night, where you're like, I've got to make a decision for me, and there's your husband over there and your children over there, but I've got to do this for me, and it's the right thing to do, but the guilt is like it feels like a death.
Yeah. It is a death.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I've said to myself. Let it be that. Surrender. Just let it be a death. And that's part of you that needs to go, because guilt doesn't have room in the divine human.
No, it doesn't.
Oh man. And there's so many ways to spin this conversation now, speaking of divine human and Ann-Peggy Divine, which also spoke to me, right? Like just seeing your the name of your YouTube channel. Divine human isn't, we're based in love. It's just love. We were never supposed to suffer. We were never supposed to, have this guilt and shame and all of the stuff that we've, picked up along the way. So that's, that's what we're losing, but that it's death after death after death after death. And we've got to just carry on.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said, because that's what we lose. We lose all the guilt, all the shame, all that.
Yeah.
So it is so freeing. And after I was invited to take Divine as a name, and first I said no, because I was attached to my family, my grandmother that I adored, and but I did it. We are invited all the time. We are invited to more light, more light, more light. And me taking the name Divine was actually saying yes to be the new human. Yes. And this also is going into the unknown. And going into the unknown can be scary, but I know that there are so much love. I experience such an amazing life, just have said yes to being new human, even though it has been processes, but life is an experience. It's not only mental, as we say. So yeah.
And it's magical. It's supposed to be magical. Like, I've been joking for years about teleporting. And I know it's like around the corner. We do it every night when we close our eyes and lay down in bed. We're doing it anyways. So it's so close to us, and telepathy is coming on. All of our superpowers, everything. It's in our blueprint, right? I mean, when scientists were saying 98% of our DNA was junk, I mean, if you just chew on that for a moment, like nature doesn't make junk. No, impossible. So for anyone who's listening and is only hearing that for the first time, if that was 98% junk they were saying, that was like predominantly shut off human. And now we're starting to switch on again. And that's why it's like there's the restructuring of the house analogy, but there's also, and I'm sure you've said this yourself, like the being in a dark room is how we've lived our lives. And someone comes in and turns on the light. What's it going to do? If you've never seen the light and you've been operating, and doing all your stuff, and all of a sudden there's this blinding light, and then they turn it up and up and up and up and up, and that's what's happening to us right now. We are getting more light and light and light, and more codes, and it's switching on our DNA, so that we can be what we're supposed to be, not craving and desiring and addicted and all of that stuff. So it's awesome. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, but it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's what label do we use? What we call us horrific or bad and everything. When we have gone through it, we often use other names. It's like, wow, that was actually gifts.
Yes.
So even the hard thing and all the hard experience, a lot of tears and hardness, is like, wow, I did it, and we come so much stronger and stronger and stronger. It's like, wow. So being crystal, as you said, from being matter and turning into crystals, well, our diamonds want to shine.
Yes, beautifully said, 100%. And just walking through, like I said to myself, just keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, and I mean, yesterday I had to cancel on a friend. It just, I didn't have anything in me to give to her, and had to deal with that guilt and whatever. But, blessing in disguise as well, for whatever reason, and to be able to get to today, to be able to get to this morning, and just do the contemplation of, like, the benefits and the costs. If I don't do it, then my whole day is, if I do it, I know I'm going to walk out of here into the sunshine, and I don't have to say anything to anyone. I'm back to being myself, and that is just being me, and people around are elated. Right, like, children will come up, and and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's just the energy. There's beautiful. I have to share this story, because it affected me so much, and it was a gentleman going through a near-death experience. I won't go through the whole story, but essentially, there was a part in his story where he's saying that he had basically died. He's watching himself from above, right? And he sees a paramedic, a young guy, they're in the ambulance, and the paramedic is, this young guy's like, oh, I wish I could have done something for him. And as soon as he says that, his heart is glowing. So the dead guy, he's up there and he's seeing this, and he's like, what? He doesn't realize it's himself. Right? Vincent something is his name. I can't remember. I did do a video about him. But anyways, so he's watching this, and a voice comes and says, this one's not dead yet. And the young kid, he's like, he's looking around like, oh my God, did I just hear that? Like, what the heck? Am I going crazy? Right? You see, so anyways, long story short, he doesn't do anything. He has this clairaudience, this voice, and then the voice comes again, but now it's booming. And so without thinking, he opens up the bag, gets the defibrillator out, and he's pumping on his chest. Long story short, then the guy obviously lives to tell the story. But the second time it happened, his heart glowed even more. And that, Ann-Peggy, that told me that what we do, I can't wait to see energy. I can't wait to see it. I don't yet. I'm a feeler. But what seers would see with us walking around, just being aligned, just being happy, just being at ease and in grace, we're touching so many people. It's not a cliche. It's true. And I'm sure you get that yourself. People just kind of come around and they're like, I don't know what it is about you, but right?
Yeah, there are so many stories, and a man contacted me last week, and the doctor said that he would not survive. And I said, you will, because when all the doctors said, you can die here or you can go home to die. And then I said, you have a choice, because we have so much power in ourselves. So I healed him, and I also made him a sound file, and he is perfectly okay, and he will live. But a lot of doctors says we don't know more to do with you, because they, when with the Western medicine, it's has its limitation, to put it like that. And when they don't have anything, they said, well, we don't have anything, so we have just let you go to die. But if they could have opened up to a bigger picture, because we have so much healing power within and around us, and open up to the divine aspect, wow, that's the biggest healer there is.
We are it.
We are it.
We are this body is the temple of the living God. We are it. And it's just, and you know, I'd like to say, you know, one never need go to anybody else, you know, or healing modalities and this and that, whatever. We have the power, and it's really truly believing in and trusting and having faith and all that is, which is not out there, which is right here, right? I mean, there were times when I was living in Slovakia. There was one time I remember, and I was living with a family, and I was in my room for about 7 days. I don't know exactly how long. I was sick. And even I thought to myself, oh shit, I'm going to die. And, you know, this family's going to have to take care of this body, and, you know, my parents and blah, blah, and all this stuff. And I just trusted. I wasn't, you know, and I believe, as you, like, the body knows how to heal itself. So I think I went, you know, 2 days without even water, right? Like, I'm okay with, I've done extensive water fasts in my life. So I know the power of that. And so there I was in that room, you know, blood in my, you know, when I was coughing, and it was not pretty. I really thought, and that's happened a few times. You know, sometimes even my husband's like, listen, we should go to the doctor. And I say, no, I am that. I am that. Right. And but I know my energetic signature is very it's that of trust, and I just have to remind myself of that. So
yeah, we have to remind ourselves, because we're reminding ourselves who we are, and then we remember more and more, so we go back to remembrance.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'll laugh at me, perhaps. I mean, I was lying in bed the other day listening to a sound bath, and I just started uttering not words, things, like, because light language, all of that is at the tip of our beingness, right? So I just started playing like a child, right? And I think that helps me a lot, is to use my imagination, to just blow off the world that seems so harsh and chaotic and whatever, but just being childlike, that, you know, like Jesus said, right? That it's so much, it's everything, right? You know, our imagination is, I mean, I love to break down words, and I think of it as like magi, nation. It's a nation of magi's, you know, and really wise, knowing beings, right? So yeah, imagination just is key, is pivotal in this process.
And another thing that is pivotal that you did today, even though you feel the crazy energy and you said yes, you could have said, I cannot do it. I cannot be on this. So even though we was planning to speak about something else, but and I want to bring one aspect of that in here. But you said yes. That's the most important thing. You said yes, even though your body and the energy, everything is kind of crazy, and you said yes in spite of it. So that's so important this time.
And thank you for saying that. And I think, you know, it's being the example, right? Like, not just all like 98% of me just wanted to be in the covers in the dark room today, really. And it was just get out of bed, just take one step. Just take one step. You don't have to do your normal routine. Don't push yourself to do anything. Just walk. Just go have some water. You know, and that's so, because we get so fixed in and orderly and stuff, right? So it's like the word hope. I say to people who are like, oh, I hope it's going to be okay. And I'm like, no. Hope is for beggars. On the vibratory scale of things, right? Hope is quite low. If you're in a situation that you're in absolute despair, yes, please hope. hope then. But if you're hoping to land this job or whatever, don't hope for it. Know it. Just
Yeah.
know it
Yeah.
within, and just get into the state of alignment. And yeah, we've got things really, really backwards, but that's what's being corrected, right? Is using our imagination, and just moving along a step at a time. Um, and just to tie up this thought, what I always encourage people to do, and this when I was working with students in Austria, I did 2 weeks in England with a whole bunch of students from Austria and some from Russia. It was the greatest 2 weeks of my life. And one of the first things that I did with the group was I asked them to write me a letter 10 years from now. Tell me what happened since this very day. And then it was an exercise, cheeky on my part, to see who is where in terms of imagination, so it was really interesting to receive back. Well, I went to Hollywood and I married this footballer and blah blah blah, and I was like, oh man, we've got some work to do, and then it was continuing on, just in that 2 weeks, to teach them the magic that they are. Right. And that's, let's go beyond that. Let's go really well beyond it. So I still encourage that this day when people, are asking me, or in a state as well. And I do it too. I do it for myself. I wake up and I journal, and sometimes, I'm had as well. The energy gets the best of me, and that's okay. I'm here saying that's okay. And that, yeah, it's important to be able to see this in the flesh. And really, I think even yesterday I was like, it's okay if I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna, I don't know how. I'll just, and I'm like that. Then the other part of me is like, well, you are. That's what's happening. And and that's the call. That's the call. Die. Yes, die. Allow yourself to. And I say that to myself, and I'm like, okay, I allow this aspect of me to just die now. It's okay. I speak to my ego and say, listen, I know you've been with me all these years. We've done this together. It's okay for you to go. It's okay. It's all right.
But I hear that you have a very healthy relationship with the word dying, because a lot of people that I work with, just hearing the word die, death, scares them to death, kind of. So the relationship we have to that, we know that it is a transmission. It is not kind of, we are going from one state to another.
Yeah.
And going out of this body is actually beautiful. I have consciously go out of this body a lot of time, and one of the first time I did it was when I lived with a pain body. I had extremely pain body. And then I was in a group and they holded the space and I was lifted out of my body. And I met my relatives and it was so beautiful and so no pain. And and I have a conversation with my relatives and it was and I didn't want to go back. Because living without the pain, it is so amazing. But my grandmother said, well, you have to go back. You have a lot of things to do and it will be a blink of an eye and you are back. We are here. We are here. So I went back. But yes, not this body carry a lot. And it's painful and it can be very hard. But so as you say, but if we let it die, what dies is the anxiety, the depression, the shame, the guilt, and all we are carrying for ourselves and also our ancestors, because we are programmed subconsciously. So so we carry sorrow and so much grief from our ancestors that have lived so hard lives.
Yes, and it's all part of the fallen human. It's all part of us falling from grace. Like, death is, I have no, I fear making a phone call more than more than the idea of death, you know. It's
That's ridiculous, but yes, that's how we do it.
yeah, right, like this is, ah, goodness. um Death, yes, a transition.
Yeah.
um I mean, in my parents' religion, they say a beautiful thing when someone has died. They say in Punjabi, my parents are Sikh, and they say that the person has become whole, right? Which is a beautiful thing. Like, and I say to people, I'm so open about this, and I've said this to my parents and my husband, and everyone, even where I was working in the crystal store, I would be like, look, if I had a heart attack right now, don't you cry, don't you do anything. My body's fallen off. I'm kissing you on the shoulder. I'm right here, right? Like, and I said, and because there's such this thing about death, which it's not true. It's, what can I say? But it's not true. Disease, death, aging, all of that stuff is part of the fallen program, which we are rising out of right now. And none of that is normal. I mean, in ancient time, we would, first of all, and this is, I think, I've okay, so let me just say this. In ancient time, we were not born through a woman and then a baby and having to grow up. We were souls over there in a different dimension saying, I want to check out that plane, that plane of existence, that third dimension, that earth. I want to go there and experience physicality. What does it feel like to be born? What does it feel like? Oh, sorry, no, this is in ancient time, not being born. That's after the fallen program. In ancient time, it was just, I want to experience physicality. I want to know what that's like. So we would show up as spirit with in our light body, all of that, right? And it was over time. It was over time of having fallen from grace that we've now we are born. We have to learn all over again, all that stuff. None of that, like, and we didn't die back in ancient time. It was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this physicality. I'm going back to the ninth. I'm going back to the 22nd dimension, whatever it is, And there was no like, oh my God, you're leaving, like, because we could do it too. We could go together, whatever. And I know this might sound really out there for probably a great deal of people, but imagine that. Imagine, that we just, I want to go to Pluto today. I want to explore, that, and we have that. That is within our DNA. It's in our coding, So, oh boy, do we? I like, my mind stops there. None of what we experience is true. What is true? That which doesn't change, right? As Lao Tzu was saying, or says, that which doesn't change, which is what? Our soul. And we are our soul's ambassadors here, doing our best to remember.
To remember,
together. And yes, yes, yes. I had now you. So actually, I want to jump to you and ask you a question. Like, when you came out of your sort of dark night of the soul in 2018, and then it was like this big 100% yes. Is that when your abilities started to kick in, like, more, or was it already happening? If it was already happening before?
it's starting in the midst of the dark night of the soul, and the only thing I could rely on in the dark night of the soul was the ability, even though I didn't know that what they was, but they were always true. So I just, the only thing I could trust was all the foresight and all things that kind of it wasn't logic at all, but that was the
Yes.
only truth that I could hold on to, because all the other stripped away.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I wanted to ask that aloud just so that people get that as well. Because for me, it's the intuition. I mean, I've had now, like, clairvoyance is starting. So we had a really big rainstorm. It actually didn't even see like a really big, it was just, it rained one night, and in the morning I had this vision of a parking lot being flooded that's parked nearby us. And I remember saying out loud, but it didn't rain that much, and I just let it go. And then later on that day, my friend and I, we were like, let's go to that park. And we were driving down like the just little hill to get to the parking lot. And there it was, the exact vision that I had, all this water. And I've never seen it like that. And so, that happened. And then, just a few nights ago in my sleep, and I wasn't clairaudience, I don't know how to describe it, but I had Oracle of Delphi just there, and so this is the sort of thing people pay attention to, all these things, write them down. I mean, and this is an interesting one, and I must share it because we can't take things personally. We get information. So, and this is what I mean. In my mind the other day, I'm preparing dinner, and I had the word come up to me, diverticulitis. And so it's some form of disease, some form of, bodily thing. And I was like, no, go away, just go. And then I was like, okay, it keeps coming back. So you need to, don't try to push it away. Don't resist this. I was like, okay, divert. Okay. And then eventually it faded. The next day we went to a friend's place, and who I cooked for. And she happened not to mention, she completely forgot that she has diverticulitis. So she can't have the seeds that I had put in the food, right? So it was, so it was really, so things like that, it really taught me, and I was saying this to my husband, that we're getting information and it might not be for us. Yeah. So don't push everything away. You're the first person I'm having this, conversation with about it. It's just hear it. And I think the key word here is don't judge. And that's for all of what we're going through anyways, right? But don't judge anything or anyone, because it doesn't serve the purpose, and it just makes things longer.
Yeah, and when I have a lot of words or insight, I will say maybe 95% of the time it's for others. It's rarely for me, because I don't need so much information. I have surrendered completely, and so I know that someone will contact me, and I know it's for a bigger purpose and someone that will connect with me or something. So it's just like you said, that when we get something, if it's a bad word, but actually our languages are poisoned. So almost all languages on Mother Earth are poisoned. So we have so much judgment in the word. So we say it as bad and heavy and all these things, but it is actually neutral, and it's information. So what do we do with that information? If we heard the word cancer, we freak out, but cancer is a word that really holds a lot of information.
Yes,
so every word is information, and it's not bad or good words. It's information that will help us wherever we are in ourselves. So just to understand this, and translation from one language to another can change the wording also. So and then we go into vibration, and this is actually very big, but everything is information, but information isn't bad or good. It's neutral. Yes. It's how we are interpreting it. How do we can use it. It's good for something.
Right. It just needs to be decoded. See it as code, right? Yeah. And what? So yeah, I love that you just said that, and I mean, that's really important. Thank you for saying your experience as well. How you're like 95% of it is for others. I think that's really big to hear. So yeah, not good, bad, right, or wrong. Just it is what it is.
And I'm so glad you said this example, because it's a sickness, it's something wrong with me. Well, it was a sickness, but it was for a friend, and it just informed you. So it was just information.
Yeah. And if I was, to send her a message and say, hey, do you have any allergies? Because I know she's really sensitive to stuff. If I opened up that word with a different branch of thought, we could have realized that actually she can't have. She loved what I made, and she's like, I'm going to try it because you made it. But she couldn't eat it, right? So Yeah, it was a big lesson for me. That was really big to realize that, hey, it's not all about you, and oftentimes it just really isn't, especially as, the field through which we're all connected. That's where the information is everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's a we game. It's not the I game anymore. It's a we game. We are not here alone. So we are all player, kind of the divinity game now, and all of us are holding a part of the totality.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it is a we. Yeah. We are not placed on Mother Earth alone. We are placed here to be nice to each other, help each other, and to really have a nice time.
What's that?
To really enjoy, to have happiness, and because now we have lived for so many years and it has been hard. Now we move into this new way of being, loving life, loving each other, emanating more love and light.
Yes, agreed. That's what it's supposed to be, as cliche and fluffy and whatever it sounds. Doesn't everybody want that? Like, this is what I say, like, don't you want to teleport? People say, anyways, we'll talk about the Wright brothers, and how they developed the airplane, and people call them psychotic and crazy, and and they did it. We have, and it was their imagination. We have to just play. We have to be like, Uncle Jesus, the beautiful, beautiful soul that came to show us the way. And, you don't have to do what I did. Just now you got it. You've got the coding. You've got it. Just, you've got it. And so, it's just time. It's that time.
It's time.
And if I can just say, God bless him, blessed is he, going on the cross, so that so all of it, like, I feel resurrected now. I didn't have to go on the cross. There's no one around me, and it was just this realization of, like, okay, it's time to just go for it, let it all die, and here I am with you, here and now, resurrected. I will not go into the bed and pull the covers over my head and in the dark. I'll go straight outside, first put my feet on the ground, and just give reverence to life, where I do that right now with you. Here we are. This is magic, that we're on these, screens across from each other. This is crazy. But even these screens, even this technology is secondary to what we are, truly, true human.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I said to kids, like, where, we would hold their phone and say, where does this come from? Manufacturer, it's based on us. It's based on us, but it's not, it's not what we are. And we are so amazing. Just have to know it. Yeah.
It was such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you contacted me. And this also reminds me of what we are in now. It's resonating. We are following the vibration and the resonance. So you find resonance in me, and you contacted me, and there you are, and here we are. And this is kind of the time now. Is we are resonating and evolving and loving life and showing up and saying yes.
Exactly. And if I may say one more thing, we're so supported by the invisible. We are so supported. And for anyone tuning in, just ask for help. The angels are there. The guides are there. It's the month of May. Mother Mary is with us, and just the other day, really quickly, I was like, Jesus, and I call him Isa, please, I need your support. I need your presence. I'm going through this thing. And it was, just saying that out loud allowed me to take the first step. And then something happened in the kitchen, which I couldn't correct, and it corrected. And I was just like, how? And I just gave thanks to.
Everything is energy, and everything is information. So I also use it, and I ask for help, and it's there always. Maybe not always in the way I wanted it with my mind, but sometimes much better. So I just open, okay, I don't know what to do, help me, and I ask for different kind of help, and I say, if that's not correct, give me a better help. We are so supported. Oh, wow.
Yes, there's no other word but wow. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was an absolute pleasure, Ann-Peggy. Absolutely, you are love. Exactly as I felt you from the first time that I saw you. So, thank you for doing what you do.
And thank you for saying yes and sending me an email. Thank you.
Pleasure, really. This isn't about us, it's about everybody. So
it is. Mwah. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.